everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial, and as many of you requested that you wanted me to do a tutorial using the Too Faced Country palette. So this is the palette. If you're interested in seeing swatches and the review on this palette, I have another video that I'll link down below, so you can go ahead and watch that. But if you're interested in how to create a look using this palette, just keep on watching. Alright, so basically what I did was apply my foundation just to save a little bit of time. And the one that I applied was Stila Stay All Day. This is foundation and concealer. The concealer is completely separate, but I just used the foundation. And this is in tone number 6, so that's my tone. I just applied it all over my face and set it with translucent powder. I used my Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, which is this one here. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of contouring, nothing very heavy. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier. This is my Matte Radiance Baked Powder. And this is in color bronze or number 3. And this is the color. Now I'm going to be using the brush that came with my Still Other Goddess. I found that this is a great brush for contouring, and especially when you're in a rush. Like, this is the one that I would use when I'm going to work and I don't have time. Usually I have 10 minutes. That's all I have. 10 minutes to do my full face. So this is very time saving and it's right spot on. So I'm just applying a little bit of that here and then blending it a little bit. Doing the same thing on the other side, the other cheek. So just a little bit of contouring there. I'm going to go under my jawline to define that a little bit and drag it towards my neck. And then I'm going to use a little bit on my temples and my hairline. Beautiful, so that's pretty much all the contour that we're going to do. This is going to be a very simple, easy, friendly look. Now for my eyeshadow part, I'm going to be using Too Faced Eyeshadow Insurance, and I'm going to be using just a primer, not really a base. This doesn't really conceal that much. So just a good base for your eyeshadows to stick to, last longer, and obviously pop up even more the color. So I'm just going to apply that with my finger really, really lightly. You don't want to come with way too much product. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is apply Cowboy Take Me Away. This is a peachy base color, and I'm going to apply a very light coat of that all over my lid, and this is going to help me conceal any discoloration as well as act as a base. Now something that I've been hearing all across YouTube with this palette is the fallout. I have to say the only color that it does have a big fallout is Y'all, but the other ones, it really depends how you work with your eyeshadows. If you just put a little bit of the color, if you just dab in the color, you won't have fallout. I don't have fallout. But if you just rub the brush into the eyeshadow, into the pan, and then you come back to your eyelid, let me tell you, you're going to have fallout with pretty much all eyeshadows. So make sure that you know how to really get the product into your lids. If you see I have no fallout whatsoever. So it's a matter of how you're applying your product. Now I'm going to start off by using Nashville, and Nashville is a grayish kind of blue. So again, just dab in the color a little bit, tap off the excess, and I'm going to start right in the first third of my eye. I'm going to apply that color right there, and I'm dabbing, not rubbing, the color. And I'm going to do the same thing right in the other outer part. So I'm sort of leaving the center behind without no color. Now I'm going to go with Paper Roses, which is this peachy color, and I'm going to apply that right in the center of my lid to the space that I left. So again, just 2, it's more than enough. You kind of build in the color. You don't need way too much all at once, just because you're blending in and you don't want way too much color all of a sudden. So start blending in the transitions between the first color that we applied in the inner and outer part, and then you can keep on applying the color as you prefer. Now I'm going to use a fluffy blending brush. This is a rounded crease number 13 from Sephora. I just can't find mine because I haven't unpacked from a trip that I just came back. And but this is exactly what you need, a blending fluffy brush. And from the palette, I'm going to be using Rhinestone, which is the purplish shade on the palette. And you're going to load that brush just a bit. Again, you don't rub into the pan. You just get the eyeshadow gently, and you're going to step back, look into your mirror, try to lean your head back so you can see your crease, and I'm going to use that right in the crease, and I'm going to use windshield wiping motions, and the brush pretty much does all the job. All you need to do is come back and forth, and make sure that it looks blended. There's no really huge techniques to doing this. You just build in your color. So again, going into my crease and going back and forth. You can also close your eye. I prefer to leave it open just because it gives me full detail of what I'm doing. And as you see, I am really going high on that crease. So basically it's almost up to my brow, but I'm leaving this tiny space in my brow that I'm going to highlight. So right there. And I'm going to do the other eye. Alright, now I'm going to go back with Paper Roses, and I'm just going to put a little bit of color in case I blended some of it, and go a little bit higher into the crease. What I want to do is, I used to have, if you see my other eye, the amount of color goes right, it stops right in my crease. I want to open up my eyes a little bit. So what I'm doing is, I'm putting the highlight, the lighter color that drags the light in the center, and I'm going up into the crease. So I want it to be, to overpass your crease. That's the right word, to overpass your crease. And then over there with the same brush, with a clean side, you can blend out the edges and the transitions to make it look smooth. So if you compare this side with this side, this one is a lot lighter into the crease and a little bit lighter, and open up your eye a little bit more. I'm going to do exactly the same thing in the other eye. I'm going to get a tapered blending brush, and my favorite one is 226 from MAC, or my Sigma E45, which is the one that I'm going to use. And I'm going to go with Dolly, which is the dark brown, and I'm going to use just the tip, and I want to make sure that you guys see that I'm just using the tip. I'm tapping off the excess, and I'm going to come right into the crease with that color. I'm going to do a V. Do you see that? Okay. This beautiful color would be a mess if you come with too much product. So make sure you're just using the tip of the brush. And doing your V there. I'm going to do exactly the same thing to the other eye. All this really does is define a little bit more your crease. So I'm going to clean up my fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to blend that color into my crease. This will give you a little bit more definition towards where your crease is and to your eyes. I'm going to use a angle brush to highlight my brow bone, and I always would go to my Sigma E70, which is this one here, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone with Cowboy Take Me Away and Famous Mall in Town. I'm just going to mix those colors together, and I'm going to come back towards the lower side of my eyebrow and highlight it. Just like that. Now for highlighting my inner tear dot, I'm going to use a small detailed brush. You can use also a pencil brush. I usually like to use a small detail brush. This is one that came with one of a very old palette. It's a very tapered, tiny brush. So if you have something like this, it'll work perfectly. If not, you can come back to any pencil brush that you have. But I like this one for what I'm going to do. So I'm using All American Girl, which is the shimmery white. And I'm going to come right in my tear dot, and I'm going to highlight that there to bring up light to my eyes, because we're not using all clear colors. So if you don't use anything there, it kind of closes your eyes a little bit. This actually opens them up. Now I'm going to use exactly the same brush, but I'm obviously cleaning it up. And I'm going to use Bluebird, which is my blue in the palette. And I'm going to use it on my lower lash line. So I'm going to use it kind of powder liner. So make sure to tap off the excess so you don't have any fallout, because it has some glitter to it. So if you don't tap off the excess, it will have some fallout. So it's a matter of how you use the eyeshadows. So I am just dabbing in both sides, tapping off the excess, and coming back to my lower lash line. And I'm going to go all the way into the lower lash line. Alright, so that's pretty much for the eyeshadows in your eyes. I'm going to go ahead and apply my eyeliner, curl up my lashes, and put on mascara and apply falsies, and I'll be right back to finish up this look. Alright, so I applied my falsies, and I wanted to share the ones that I'm using are the Katy Perry lashes by Allure, and this is the Cool Katy. These are the ones that I'm using, and I am liking them very much. They look pretty natural. At least on me, they look very natural. So let me give you a close-up so you can see the final look on my eyes. It's a very flattering color, very soft and smoky effect at the same time. Now that's pretty much all for the eyes that I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to do still a little bit on the face. As I said, I'm going to contour very little, which is exactly what I did, and you guys saw it. The last thing that you need to do is to come back with a nice color for your blush. I'm going to be using Lorac, and this is in color Flaunt Audance. This is a baked, look at the color, it's awesome. It's a baked matte satin brush, so it's perfect. Now I want to mention to you guys that I was in Vegas, and I'll get back in another video to that, but I went to one of the Sephoras that they have there, and I found this, and at least my Sephora doesn't carry it. This is one of the Pro Angle Contour Blush Flat. So it's a blush flat brush, and it works awesome. So I'm going to be using this one to apply my blush. Again, I'm just dabbing in, and I'm going to go on the apples of my cheeks, and then draw the color a little bit towards your hairline, so following that direction. Now for highlight, I'm going to use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. This is in color Soft and Gentle, and I'm going to use a dual fiber brush. We'll go around it just a couple of times, step off the excess, and come back here. Same technique behind your eyebrow, coming all the way toward the top of your cheeks. I'm going to use the same in my forehead, just in the front, a little bit down my nose, and Cupid's bow and chin. Okay, now for my lips, I'm going to be using my Buxom lip gloss, and this is in color Stirred 8, and this is my Buxom lip gloss. This is the color. It's awesome. It's a kind of a gum pink. So I'm going to go with only that. I'm not going to use any lipstick or anything, just that. As you can see, they're very pigmented, so I don't really need a lipstick. And there you go. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Alright, let me give you a close-up so you guys can see the final result. Here. That's the final result, and it's all done with your contour palette. I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. Let me know what you guys think. And please don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, because I continuously keep posting some techniques of makeup and some other funny stuff that I like to share with everybody. So please follow me on those two social media. Also, don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned for more videos, and don't forget to comment and like the video. So I'll see you next time. I hope you liked it, and see you next time. Bye.